kiss for you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to my another video on Android app development. And so guys, this will be the part 5 of my video series on Firebase 2018. Okay, so in this video I am going to show you how to use the real-time database inside the Firebase console. Alright, so in this video I will teach you how to insert the data inside a real-time Firebase database. Okay, so I will make it a bit simple for you to understand it. Okay, so you just need to follow me and understand what I am going to do. Okay, so basically first of all I want to show you my Firebase console. Okay, and inside that we have already done the authentication part of our video series. Okay, so you are able to authenticate and use the Firebase authentication for your Gmail, okay, here, and also with the email and password. Okay, and I also created a video on Firebase OTP using the code which is sent on to the mobile number. You can see that video also. Okay, so in this video I am going to show you how to use this database, okay, real-time database inside your Android application. So first of all you need to go to your database and then you need to click on get started, then here you can say enable. Okay, and inside that I want to show you. Okay, so here you can see that this is the parent root, you can say. Okay, inside that we will be creating our data inside. Okay, so basically my idea is that when a user registers himself with the email and password here, okay, then we also want to enter the email and password of the user inside our Firebase database. Alright, so what you are going to see is, let me show you here. Okay, so first of all you can say that this will be the root. Okay, inside that root what we are going to store, first of all, the user ID. Okay, and inside our user ID root node, sorry, so we will store username. Okay, let's say Harun, and also after that we will store password here. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Okay, similarly then we will have, you can say, user ID 1, then again user ID 2. okay, inside that user ID 2 sorry, we will have username also, and let's say ABC, and then we will have a password with the name 123. Alright, similarly we will have multiple users here. Okay, so here you can see that username XYZ, and then the password, so we can say 1 2 3 4 5. Alright, so I will teach you how to achieve this. Okay, this is very useful because when the for example, let's say Harun, the username Harun, and this password. Okay, this user signs into the application, then we can fetch the information regarding that using this unique user ID. You are understanding me? Okay, similarly if we have this user who is registered and who is logging to our application, then we can fetch this information inside that profile, you can say, inside profile activity. Okay, so in the later part I will show you how to fetch these. Okay, so in this video I am only going to show you how to enter the data inside our database. Okay, so let's go down to our Android Studio, and inside that we have this register activity. Okay, and since we are only authenticating it and saving that inside our authentication. Okay, so this was the code which I completed in my previous video, and after the user created, we were sending the user to the profile activity, but now we will not be sending the user to our profile activity. Rather, we will now save the values inside our database. Alright, so how can we achieve that? So first of all, you need a class, separate class of the fields which you want to insert the data. Okay, so let's create a new class, and here we can say this is the user class. Okay, let's click OK, and now here you need to do, what you need to do is you need to say public string username and password. Alright, and after that you need is a constructor, so we can say public user. Inside that we can say username string password. Okay, and inside that we can say this dot username equals to username, and similarly this dot password equals to password. Alright, and after that we will be requiring an empty constructor, so we can say user. Okay, so after you create your class, let's say you have another field of date of birth. Okay, so you can add all the fields which you want to insert the data into. Okay, so after that, after you created the class, then it's going to be a very simple way. Then here you need what you need is a Firebase database. Oh, okay, sorry, database reference class. So we need to use database. Okay, since it is showing me red because we have not integrated the dependency, so you need to go down here. Okay, and here what you need is just copy that. Okay, and paste it here, and rather than you have out, so just replace it with database. Alright, and now click on sync now. Now the project will compile, and now we are able to use the Firebase database classes inside our Android Studio project. So here you can see now the dependency, I mean the build Gradle is completed. Now we need to use the database reference, and we can say root reference. Okay, this root reference will point towards, let me show you, let's open it again. Okay, so it will point towards this root element. Okay, root node. So now we need to first of all initialize that. So inside our on create method, we are going to initialize it by using root reference equals to Firebase database dot get instance dot get reference dot. Okay, there you go. Okay, so this root reference will point towards this root. Okay, so now we need here when the user logins from that, you can see create user with email and password. Okay, so here we can get the unique user ID. Okay, because we want a new node here with the name of unique user ID, and inside that we will store all the values. Okay, so now we need to create the unique user ID node. So for that, it is going to be a very simple way. What you need to do is after Firebase out, you need is Firebase user. Okay, and you need to use the user inside our create user with email and password. Okay, so here you can say, let me remove that also. Let's change the name to Firebase user. Okay, Firebase user. and after that we need to initialize that, so we can say firebase user equals to auth dot get current user. All right, if now you have got the firebase user, so now here you can get the firebase user dot get user id. All right, but now what we need to do, now this is the way, now we need to use the user, create the user object my user insert obj, okay, equals to new user, and inside that we need to type in the string values which we want to insert. So first of all, our first was, you can see from there, username, and the second one is password. Okay, so here first of all we can get this email and password. So all you need to do is you need to use email and password. Alright, so now it's saying me that this email is accessed from within inside class, need to be declared final. So for that we can change that to final. Alright, now the error is gone. Okay, so now we have this object. All now we need to do is we just need to set it to the Firebase database and store it. So how can we do that? So since you remember we have this object root reference, okay, and now you need to use the root reference dot child. Okay, so now we need a child, and inside that as I told you, we need a child of the unique user id. So for current user unique id we can say user dot, okay, firebase user dot get user id, okay, and we can say dot, and inside that if we want another node, so we can say dot child another node, okay, but we don't need another node, and we just need to store the values inside our firebase user unique user id node. So we can say firebase user dot get unique user id dot set value. Alright, and inside that we will insert the my user insert object. Okay, that is it. Now the values will be stored inside our Firebase database, but we want to know if the values are successfully inserted or not. Okay, so for that we need to use add-on complete listener, and after that inside our on complete method we need to check if the task is successful. We just need to print a message that values stored in db. Alright, and now what we can do is we can say finish and my intent equals to new intent, and inside that we can have get application context, and now we can open our profile activity dot class, and finally we can say my intent. Alright, so that was it. So if let's see if it works or not, but before that we can use a progress dialog so that the user sees the progress dialog when he registers. So for that we can use progress dialog, and we need to first of all initialize that dialog equals to new progress dialog, and inside that we need to pass this reference context, and inside that we need to say dialog dot set message, and inside that we can say registering please wait, and we can say dot show. Alright, so now the dialog will be shown, but if the if this error occurs that blank not allowed, so we need to dismiss the dialog, and after that inside our Firebase user, the user is created, okay, using the Firebase authentication. After that the user is authenticated successfully, then we need to insert that the values inside our database, and if the task is successful, here we can say dialog dot dismiss. Okay, but if for some reason the value is not stored, so we can say dialog dot dismiss here, that the user could not be stored. Alright guys, so that was it. So let's run our application. I hope you understand all the concepts, and I guess this was a very simple way of inserting the data. So let me connect my phone. Alright. So now what, let's run our application and let's see if it works or not. Yes, now our application is running. Okay, so first of all let me remove the authentication users. Okay, let's try to remove them, and also let's delete it. Okay, so now our application is running. Now I click on sign up, and inside that let's say I have an email haroon@gmail.com, and password I set it as 1234567. Okay, and now I click on register. It is taking a lot of time, maybe because of the internet problem. Here you can see that the user is successfully written here, and we are not able to see any values inside R. Okay, so let's close it and let's again try, and let's delete the user. And now let me switch off my Wi-Fi because I guess it's very slow, and let me use the data connection. Okay, and now this time again if I click on register. Okay, so I guess there is some problem inside our database. Okay, so let's remove our dialog, progress dialog, and let's see where the problem is. I guess the problem is inside that we cannot use the final, so we e1.getText.toString and e2.getText.toString, and also we need to remove the dialog. Let's see if this is the problem with the dialog. And now let's just check it again. So if I run the application again, and let's remove it, and let's also open the database. Okay, so let's try to sign up, and let's say hr.com 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, and let's try to register. And here you can see that the values we have this unique user ID, and there we have password and username, you can see. And inside our authentication part, let's refresh that, and there you can see that we have this user inside that. Alright, so let's try to sign out from here, and let's try to register another user. So let's say abc@gmail.com and password as 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay, and if we click on register, so you can see that we have another node with the same username and password, and inside our Firebase authentication you can see this one. Alright guys, so if you like the video, please like, share and subscribe. Goodbye.